best pro wrestling podcast.
What I said was, stop talking. What does that mean? Choose!
Clash of the Titans! The Bullet Club is for everyone!
Not only is the Bullet Club for everyone, the Balor Club is for everyone, and the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast is for everyone. Hello, my name is Tommy Stryker. Taco is here.
What up?
Joe is here as well.
What's up?
And we are here to talk about the best wrestling in the world. That's what the Best Pro Wrestling Podcast is. Thanks for checking out the show.
Yeah.
If you're new to the show, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Follow on Twitter at BPW Podcast. Follow on Facebook, facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast. Go to bestprowrestlingpodcast.com for this show. Our New Japan and Ring of Honor show, Strong Honor, is there. All the back episodes, all of that stuff. And thanks for checking it out. So, lots to talk about this week. We got the Superstar Shakeup, Raw, SmackDown, NXT with a hot show this week. And what else? We should. We're actually going to do a preview for Impact's pay-per-view coming up this week.
Weird.
We don't talk a ton of Impact, and I still haven't watched a ton of the TV yet. But
Is something wrong with your liver?
it might be, actually. I don't know. But let me.
I have been feeling a little bit sluggish.
My liver.
It could be if you're sluggish. I don't know.
Do you feel sluggish or tired throughout the day? Have you ever thought the problem could be your liver?
Or it could be Kevin Owens power bombing you into a pile of steel.
Dude, I think some Liverade will fix him right up.
My liver.
We should have like a contest, like send in your recreating like Shane McMahon's. And winner gets something.
if only we had something to give away.
I'll draw you something.
There you go. Taco will draw something for you. I like it's very, very ambiguous. Who knows what it could be? But Taco will draw something.
I'll fucking send mail postage on that. Why not?
Why not? Sure.
It's gonna be a dick.
To have 3 people signing goes.
Well, before we get into too much, let's talk about the news.
Pro wrestling.
We have quite a bit of news for you.
God, make myself laugh.
Whatever works. The sad news, Bruno Sammartino passing away.
Yes.
Had a long life, good life, but sad news. Huge star in the 60s and 70s, really carried the old school
Key icon.
The old school triple WWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation back in the day.
That extra W, man.
And but I mean, he was like a guy that like really carried the promotion, had the he was the champion for years. And
2,080 something days, I believe.
Yeah, well, and he had a couple of different runs too. Like one was like a 4-year run, another one was like 7 or 8 years. Forgive me if I'm off on my history, but and there's other great sources out there that I'm sure I would recommend. Obviously, listening to, and I haven't had a chance to. This just happened today, but if you're interested in the history of Bruno Sammartino, I'm sure Dave Meltzer is going to have a whole thing in the Wrestling Observer and on his subscriber audio, as well as Bruce Mitchell over at the Pro Wrestling Torch. Both of those guys really smart when it comes to wrestling history and really know their stuff, and I'm sure they'll get into a lot of Bruno's contributions to the business. And in fact, when he got inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame a couple years back, they did whole retrospectives talking about his career and everything. So
that was a big moment, him coming back. I mean, he stunned him for a long time.
Yeah, he was really upset with what Vince McMahon did to the territory system and where he took the direction of the business in the 80s. He didn't like the cartoony WWF style. He just wasn't into it, and killing the territories and going against all the different promoters and burning those bridges or whatever. He was kind of old school in that way. So
we've talked about it before, but I feel like that's the way it's going again. We're going back to territories, local stuff, and everything like that, and the whole business is changing. I think if he really truly looked at the indie scene for what it is, he would have appreciated that.
It's a lot different though from the actual territorial system. But you're right. It is the indie scene is becoming a true alternative for the top talent that are on the indie scene. People are able to make a living not going to WWE with places like it's really the internet that's done it, because with places like New Japan and the bigger indies like PWG. And PWG's system is more antiquated compared to a lot of indie systems because they just sell DVDs and Blu-rays. But I mean, with streaming, with New Japan and the British indies and like Progress and Rev Pro and and everything that's going on, out with Ring of Honor and even Impact now.
Like we're geeking out over last week, just WrestleMania weekend and how it was. The indie scene was flourishing like that. I wasn't that too deep into the indie scene back when I went out to WrestleMania. So WrestleMania 28. So that was only so many years ago. So it's like I don't know if there was that many indie wrestling things, even a couple going on around that weekend.
Even then, it's certainly not like what it is now.
It's like, was there one, maybe two of them going? Who the fuck were at these things, if anything? And it definitely wasn't on the internet like it was. The closest thing I can compare to internet wrestling was back in the day when I'm on torrents downloading, the fucking Summer of Punk with Samoa Joe, those Ring of Honor days.
Well, right, yeah, because now the technology has finally caught up to what a lot of these indie feds and even Ring of Honor were trying to do 10 years ago with the pay-per-views and what a failure that was. Now that you can do it do it low cost, it doesn't break the bank, and it works for the most part. And so you can deliver content that way, and people can subscribe and give you money. So there's new ways for independent promotions to make money around the world, and so that's just creating this new territorial style independent scene. So yeah, it's kind of old. What's old school is new, but in a completely different way. And it's really great for competition and for guys to have different options as far as where to work and make a living in pro wrestling.
I think the big key too right now is you inside the WWE locker room, on the road, you're seeing everyone scratching each other's backs and just praising each other. You don't see too much gossipy shit anymore. It seems like everyone's truly out there to help each other out and put on a good fucking show.
Right. It's not as there's still political aspects to it. But it's not like it was in the 70s and 80s with or even in the 90s with with what was going on in WCW and the old vets there.
That shit will always be there. There will always be those people
hanging onto their spot.
It just really does seem like the good guys are really sticking out now, and people like he who shall not be named are definitely, getting tucked under. So it's good.
TNA is hiring.
So moving on, the other big news story, other than the Superstar shakeup and everything that we're going to get into here, but John Cena and Nikki Bella breaking up. This is not typically a subject I honestly don't really care that much.
No,
but I thought it was because I know you were calling John Cena a prick or whatever, Joe. I know you have some thoughts on this.
Well, what else is there to be? Like, Taco was telling me, I didn't even know, like, she apparently, again, rumors and everything, but, like, she had to sign a contract just to go into his fucking house?
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Yeah. Like, do you want to have any kind of relationship with anyone?
No, he doesn't. That's the thing.
And that's fine. Like, don't push it, but to fucking, like, propose in front of WrestleMania, I know it was kind of forced on him, but he was the one who had to finally say, okay, let's do it, and let's do it in front of millions of people.
Here's the thing is, I don't watch a lot of Total Divas or Total Bellas, but I did watch a little bit last year or whatever when I still had the E Network. And it was very apparent that John Cena is very uptight about all of this. Even way before they got engaged, he was adamant about, I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. And he was, adamant about these things early in their relationship with Nicole. At least he was on reality television. So
we just look at him, how much his fucking work drive is, and it's just anybody that has a work ethic like that, they're not going to want to do stuff like that, get married and have kids. And if they
and he's been married before too.
Yeah.
And
so it's just, he knows that he's putting himself and his career first, and he talks about it too. He does it because it's to protect him and his family, because his brother has he's mentally handicapped and stuff like that, and then there's other side of his family that has other health issues. So he's just like, that family comes first. I got to protect my money. So that's why he did have her sign that 75-page fucking contract.
Right? But that's such
my guest. Yeah, it's really fucking
and he paints
shitty.
himself
But
in the corner when you see the next second he's on a Make-A-Wish fucking commercial. You're like you having to deal with the fact that he's a piece of shit kind of in real person, but he's a good person in real life.
Isn't he a piece of shit though? He knows what he wants. It's Nicole should have fucking realized this. It kind of went on too long. How long you beat a dead horse for?
Yeah, I don't want to get into blaming her for sticking around too long, because I put some of the blame of this on John for actually doing the proposal.
Oh yeah, that's so fucking embarrassing.
The proposal stunk like a publicity stunt the entire time, and it turns out that's exactly what it was. But I mean, for him to not, and who knows, maybe he did. Maybe he said, "Look, I'm going to do this, but look, my heart's not in it." But I don't. I feel like I don't know.
Again, it's a subject matter that doesn't really matter in the long run to us. So
it's a bummer, but
everybody's going to move past it eventually. We're just going to move on.
And quite frankly, I just don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
I just don't care. I don't care about John Cena's relationship status.
I kind of forgot he was married. So
engaged. And
I mean,
before, and then Nicole. Again, I don't watch a lot of Total Bellas Divas, but she was definitely the more annoying character on that show. Again, it's reality TV. It's just as contrived as professional wrestling itself.
She's a glamorous lifestyle kind of girl.
Absolutely. All right, let's get out of this.
Let's go. Let's talk wrestling, please.
Get out of the muck and talk some wrestling, and try to do it in a somewhat positive manner.
I think we can.
That's it was a fun week.
Fuck this. No.
The Superstar Shake-Up is a good time because you get some fresh matchups going, some things moving around, and not a ton of big names. But let's get into Monday Night Raw's side of things.
Monday Night Raw.
So we'll pop up the Monday Night Raw side of things that people that came over to Monday Night Raw from SmackDown. So again, like I said, I'm looking at the list here of the names, and the biggest names that stick out the most is Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Sammy Wow.
Sammy Wow. I'm sorry. Let me. I can only have one thing up at once here, unfortunately. And here's Bob Roode. And Sammy Wow.
Sammy Wow.
We got two Bobs on Monday Night Raw. We got Bob Roode and Bob Lashley. So that's interesting stuff there. But yeah, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who were technically kind of free agents or whatever, fired from SmackDown for losing their match, and then they tried to get the job last week, didn't work out. TNA is hiring, they didn't go get the job over there, but the Miz brought them in and got himself traded away to SmackDown, unfortunately there. But yeah, other names from the list, I mean, Dolph Ziggler is not really a needle mover in my opinion. Bobby Roode.
I like that pairing with him and McIntyre, though.
I'm curious, though. Yeah,
it's something fresh and something different for Ziggler. How many times can it be the fucking, we joked about the entryway for the NXT stars. It's can only go so fucking far.
I'm a little worried about it because Ziggler isn't over right now anyway. Certainly doing anything on SmackDown. I don't think him moving to Raw is going to really change the fans' perception on him. Granted, the McIntyre thing is something new and possibly good for Ziggler, but I'm more worried about Drew McIntyre's and how he is affected by being with Dolph Ziggler. He might have. He might have a little headwind possibly against him amongst the more casual fans who only remember him from being, last time around he was in the three-man band.
Which are all on Raw. Just need to point that out right now.
3MB is back together, baby, on Raw.
It's happening.
You even go before 3MB, and he just never... He was always the chosen one, but he never really was special.
Right, so
and he did, left the company and did, got beefier and better and everything, but still, he's Drew or McIntyre to me.
Well, I mean, So what do you mean by that?
That little stint he had at NXT really did nothing for me.
Okay.
It did absolutely nothing for me. It was just like, hey, have a cup of coffee, peace, nerds, I'm out.
So you think he was overpushed at NXT, or you just?
I think I would have liked to see more of him in NXT. Obviously I wasn't too deep into Impact, but the little things I did see him do in Impact, it was some of the worst shit of Impact. It was during some of the worst times of it. So he never really did anything that stuck out to me. Him and, EC3's feud was probably some of the better things that were pushing around that time, but it was still fucking rough.
I didn't mind some of the stuff that I saw from him at Impact. He was also involved with Evolve, and I saw a couple of things there. But
he's definitely a different performer than he was 3MB and prior.
Right, and he certainly earned a better reputation for his hard work outside of WWE. But yeah, going back, so
I feel like I would like to see a more dominant force out of him in his NXT run. More, not just come in. I'm back in the WWE. I'm the champion, then I lose it. The injury took him out. Unfortunately,
right.
But
so you wanted to.
That was a good match.
Yeah, a good match.
So I'm actually talking about fans like you who need to see more.
He just never really sticks out to me. Like, oh fuck, Drew McIntyre.
Right.
I think more people are just geeking out because it's an old school, quote unquote old school, guy returning back to the WWE in front of the camera.
And that's why I'm worried about him being paired up with Ziggler, because it's like, well, that's fucking Ziggler, who's kind of just Ziggler.
That's why I'm kind of excited about it, because I'm excited to see which direction they take these two, because it's something I was not fucking expecting. I thought they would kind of bring him in and throw him in the singles division, and we'd go right back to the typical, Drew McIntyre shit that we once were before 3MB.
I want to talk about Chad Gable. His name jumps off the page to me because he was not talked about on TV at all. He was one of the afterthoughts, drafted or moved or shook up after the fact. But I think all of us are pretty big fans of what he did down at NXT. Kind of floundered a bit on the SmackDown roster, losing his tag team partner, getting paired up with Shelton Benjamin. But every time he got in the ring, he was impressive. So I think there's some upside here, but I worry a little bit that he might get lost in the shuffle on Raw. But what do you guys think?
I mean, if he's going singles, I know he thinks he probably can, contend for even a mid card. But I mean, he's a 205 Live guy, and with his I think that personality will work, because they don't. I mean, think about it. They have really good wrestlers, but do they have that amateur wrestler who will just wrestle to your ground? He's basically mini Kurt Angle.
Yeah, well, and I like that. And I kind of hope that he becomes friends with Kurt Angle, and that when Jason Jordan comes back, it's Jason Jordan versus Chad Gable, and Chad beats the snot out of him, and you're not his real son, but something like that. But I like the idea of him going singles. I think that'll be good, but it's just a matter of how they present him. And I don't like him going to 205, although he would be a star on that brand, but I don't know.
I think he'll be able to hold his own. He was always the one between the two that really stuck out in American Alpha. Even before that, Jason Jordan was always that guy they really wanted to do something with. They just never really could until they paired him with Gable. And, it wasn't... he only really got over the more annoying he got. And it was good. Right. It worked. I mean, it fucking grew on me. It's like, keep it going. And, again, unfortunately, the injury bug hit him. But, yeah, I think, Gable definitely has that personality. He really sticks out. If they have faith in that dude, he'll fucking shine.
So Jinder Mahal gets traded over. He wins he loses the United States Championship right away to Jeff Hardy, and then Jeff Hardy shows up the next night on SmackDown. So the U.S. title only moves to Raw for one night, and then it shows up back on SmackDown.
See, I just figured they were going to swap, and Intercontinental was going to go to SmackDown.
Well, and
that would mean moving Seth Rollins over.
And I had temporarily forgot that The Miz had lost the Intercontinental Championship. So when Kurt Angle announced that Miz was going to be going to SmackDown. I was like, oh yeah, so the Intercontinental Champion is moving over there. No, doesn't have the belt anymore. Seth Rollins does. So there's that. Natalia moving over and
awesome.
And
like it.
It's interesting that with her pairing with Ronda Rousey, with being training partners or friends. To me, it was a little bit awkward. Her moving to kind of being the baby face or being someone that we're supposed to be rooting for right away.
I was always rooting for Natalia. So
well, yeah, and that's the thing is she's kind of in that veteran legacy status. She's been around so long that everybody's kind of behind her anyway. Although I got to admit, her promos the last 6 months or so have been, I don't know, they're just they come off a little too scripted, and I don't know, just hasn't done a ton for me. But
it's the matches that I watch for her. I mean,
yeah,
like you said, the promos have just been kind of boring. Let's be honest. She hasn't had any fire. It's always the same promo. Let's see something fresh again. They've jumped her back and forth so much, though. They got to stick with one sooner or later, though.
Right. It's becoming Big Show like at this point,
yes.
The back and forth with Natalia. But I think with the pairing with Rousey, if they stick with it, which I think they should, because I think just her having Rousey, that is, having someone with the experience of Natalia around her, on house shows, if she does many of them, I don't know. But just those two hanging out in real life or whatever is going to help Ronda Rousey, because she can go to Natalia as the learning tree, or sit under her learning tree,
right.
And I think that'll be a big help.
And I'm glad they're putting Rousey right in there, getting her into a story right away. No bullshit with her. So I'm glad they're doing that move.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. It was nice to have the Natalia having a match right away with Mandy Rose, kind of establishing, okay, we're rooting for Natalia now, kind of a thing, and her getting the win.
I like the square up between Rousey and DeVille.
Yes.
Because that's what, obviously everybody wanted it to happen just so Rousey could do what she did, but I think that could be a good starter feud for both of them. Sonya Deville's going to get, the credit for just facing Rousey. Rousey's going to get the experience just with wrestling somebody in the ring.
Well, unfortunately, they moved Absolution over to
SmackDown.
So
I hated that, to be honest with you.
You would.
It's just, I don't like Sonya Deville's shadow boxing, her whole MMA thing, because it's like...
She didn't really have a...
She really didn't, and then you're putting in her with Ronda Rousey, one of the best, the pioneers of the women's fucking MMA world, and you can just see how fucking years far beyond Ronda Rousey is to Sonya Deville, and it just made Sonya Deville look weak.
I agree with it, made her look weak, but I think that was the idea, though, too, is that Ronda Rousey's fucking Ronda Rousey, and Ronda's just reaction to Sonya, getting in the ring, she's like, what, really?
Well, it worked. I saw someone on Reddit, they're saying, oh, wow, Rousey's really been working on her strikes since she left the UFC. She looked really good. I'm like, settle the fuck down, dude. Come on.
It is pro wrestling, but I do like that the way she does her quote strikes have a different look to them from typical pro wrestling punches and whatnot. So they have a more legit or quote MMA look.
Yeah, no, I love it. I was like, yeah, ruthless, great.
So yeah, more of that, please. But yeah, I agree. It would have been nice to kind of have a little, maybe have an actual match or something there. But again, with those two on the way out, doesn't really matter. We can save that up for later. Authors of Pain, of course, they made their big debut last week, but had another match with Rhino and Slater here.
I kind of want to see an angle where Rhino is Otis's dad in NXT. They both have no necks at this point.
I'd watch that.
I'm not mad at that at all.
Just sharing fucking cheese and crackers with one another. This episode, let's have Taco Book Wrestling.
Let's see here. Okay, well, let's talk about fucking
Ha-ha Clinton Dix?
Yes, Ha-ha Clinton Dix, of course.
Ha-ha Clinton Dix.
Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, their tag team known as the Deleter of Worlds, they beat the Revival with the assist of fate. They're going to face the Bar for the tag teams at the greatest Royal Rumble. The Fashion Police moved over to Raw, and they ticketed the Bar for having bad fashion, and then ended up having a match, and they beat the Bar.
Yeah.
So I'm curious if those guys,
Breezango, baby,
Breezango, going to get added to that match, make it a 3-way, or have a potential title match down the
Bar's
line.
on SmackDown now.
That's right. The Bar got moved to SmackDown.
I sadly feel that they're just going to do the same thing that like with the Usos, and the fact that they had, or I think it was Fandango beat one of the Usos, so they had the quick tag team match. They challenged them real quick, and then that was it for their tag team opportunities. I have a bad feeling that's going to happen again. I don't want it to. I love me some Breezango. I could watch it all day. Don't give a fuck what anybody says.
It's weird though, because it looks like the tag team championships, the Raw ones, are probably going to end up on the Deleter of Worlds. I mean, you certainly. So it's going to be them guys versus the Bar at the greatest Royal Rumble, but it's for the Raw Tag Team Championships. How about this? How about the Bar win the Raw Tag Team Championships, bring them to SmackDown, we unify them, because you have all the greatest tag teams are on SmackDown right now. The Bar, the Usos, the New Day.
Dude, they don't got no Breezango. They don't got no Ascension. That's about all
they
I
got the Colognes.
Yep, I think the best tag teams are on SmackDown. Have the tag team championship over there. You got Breezango over on the Raw side, but again, that doesn't really. They're entertaining. They're good. It doesn't scream.
But to take away the Bar,
right? Exactly.
That's the trade.
Yeah, that's I don't know. The thing is,
but what if they win them though, and they're like, you gotta stay on Raw?
Well, I guess that'd be a possibility, but I really like the idea of the Bar on SmackDown with all those other tag teams. So
they're not unifying the titles, Tommy.
No, I know. God damn it.
I know. God damn it.
Ember Moon beat Mickie James with her Eclipse move again. Again, I thought I thought a good match here.
The sell of the Eclipse.
Yes.
Oh, yep.
That was very good.
But I'm gonna maintain. God, I hate that Ember Moon theme. It's probably my most hated theme,
really,
of all of them.
And you like EC3s?
Fuck yeah, because I'm on the top 1%, bitch.
I'm sucking.
You're in the bottom 99.
Well, power bottom.
Nia Jax was on commentary, the new Raw Women's Championship.
I kind of enjoyed her on commentary.
Yeah, she was decent.
She was bubbly.
I could have done without the Alexa Bliss inset interview from the back. She was so the way they did that whole thing was just dumb. Like
the fact that she's like holding herself like a victim. That was the first thing I noticed.
What the segment accomplished what it was supposed to. Heat on Alexa Bliss for calling Nia a bully when it was Alexa and Mickie James doing the bullying all along, but I just didn't like the setup of it. These two opponents that are angry at each other are supposed to sit next to each other on commentary during this match.
I agree with Lex. I wouldn't want to come out either.
It was
just fuck.
It was obnoxious, and I thought they could have done it in a different way and accomplished the same thing. But whatever, it was what it was.
But yeah, Nia's finding her groove, man. I agree with you on that.
We got to talk Roman Reigns and this whole Samoa Joe thing. Roman Reigns comes out. Nobody cares. Everybody's booing Roman Reigns. I mean, I shouldn't say everyone. He has his fans.
It's not as strong as it used to be. The boos.
But his fans aren't as loud as the boos at this point. Certainly not here in Hartford, Connecticut, where Raw was this week. And then Samoa Joe coming out and saying all the right things. You're a loser. You can't win the big one. The Beast has your number. What else did he say?
You're a failure.
You're a failure. I'm gonna
just killing it.
And then he says, "I'm going to put you in your place at Backlash." I don't like, but they changed the story. Last week, Samoa Joe was like, "Look, if it's you that wins the title at the Greatest Royal Rumble, or if it's Brock Lesnar, whoever wins that, I'm going to challenge at Backlash." This week, it's I'm challenging you, Roman Reigns, at Backlash. I'm not challenging. I'm just challenging you at Backlash. I could have sworn
he was challenging Reigns last week too.
I thought, and I could be wrong, but I thought, and I talked about it on the show, I thought he said, whoever, I'll face Brock Lesnar at Backlash, or I'll face you, whoever has that universe.
Fuck anyone up.
That's what I'm saying, but because they moved him in the Superstar shakeup to SmackDown, he's obviously not going to challenge Brock for the championship if he retains, or if Roman, if Roman gets the championship at the Greatest Royal Rumble, which I think is probably very likely, since he didn't win it.
So was the win at WrestleMania,
right? So if he wins it there, which is probably likely, like I said, sure they'll have their Universal Championship match at Backlash, but I don't think Samoa Joe is going to win it and bring it to SmackDown. Unfortunately,
maybe they'll bring it to SmackDown and they'll unify the titles.
Hey, that would be cool. And then you go back to just having one brand for everything again, which is certainly a possibility. But
I actually like everything where it's at.
I do too, because I like what they're doing with SmackDown. It's different. You got it's not that different, but you've got a lot of different guys there and some unique matchups, especially with Samoa Joe coming over, Daniel Bryan coming back to in-ring competition.
Good matches, fucking lining up.
Right, AJ Styles is still there, of course.
He's basically got like a tour of just great matches to get through this year.
So a lot of intriguing stuff on the SmackDown side, which we will get to. We are going to get Brock Lesnar on Raw next week, which will be fun. Next week is the go-home show to the Greatest Royal Rumble, which has very quickly gone from being another, beast in the East to kind of we got another big pay-per-view. This kind of feels like WrestleMania B at this point, because you've got the big rematch for Roman and Brock. You've got the 50-man fucking Royal Rumble, 7 championships being defended.
I mean, just thinking about it, I think the only reason Jeff won that title was so Ginger could win it in India.
Certainly a possibility. But yeah, all kinds of insane stuff. I mean, you got the 4-way for the Intercontinental, which Joe talked about winning and bringing that to SmackDown, and then winning the Universal Championship and bringing it to SmackDown. So yeah, we'll do a full preview of that thing next week. But yeah, this is like a full-on blowout pay-per-view here. Yeah. Do you think? Because I've heard a lot of chatter about this, about the Roman Reigns and Brock situation, and Brock keeping the championship. A lot of the talk is that Brock has re-signed a short-term deal, quote unquote, and maybe only one match, but who knows? Nobody's.
There's also talks of per match too, instead.
Right, and certainly the possibility of him still being under contract to WWE and going to UFC and doing a match there or whatever, or a fight there.
I just don't care anymore. That's my problem. I'm done. Brock Lesnar does nothing for me. He's not a spectacle anymore.
There's a lot of people that feel the same way.
Brock Lesnar.
I gotta say though, with since we're on Brock Lesnar, I gotta go back to Jinder Mahal, and I actually did enjoy him on Raw this week. Mm-hmm. I thought his promo was good, of him being like, "You need to accommodate to me. Where the fuck's my limo? Fuck that SUV. I want the Brock Lesnar treatment. I'm the best athlete here." So I liked that Jinder Mahal heel.
Yeah, and Kurt Angle's reaction to him, I thought, was very good as well.
And it wasn't a bad match either.
It felt good because Jinder lost.
And because even though it was only one move, but watching Jinder do the backstabber to him, that was something new for me to see from Jinder Mahal. Sure. He hasn't done it. Just showing that he is learning. He is improving. I want to see him get better in the ring, because if his attitude transfers, he's just got to find that right feud, that perfect feud with his attitude.
Randy Orton.
That's not it.
Oh.
But he finds that right feud. I think he could be that, what do you call it? A Ted DiBiase. Continuous heel. Never change. Always heel. You're an ass. If you've got the championship, you're an ass. That's just the way it is.
Honestly, it wasn't his ring work for me. It's like, whatever. It was just the wrong kind of heel, and just like, I don't fucking care about this character. Everything was just so wrong when he was on the mic. It just sucked it out for me.
Yeah, he was bad on the mic. He was over-pushed based on where he was before he was the champion. Then it was the annoying foreign menace heel who was saying racist stuff but accusing all the fans of being racist. It's overdone, overplayed, over just too much garbage, and it was like, fuck this.
It's not 1983, all right?
Right.
We don't need this. That's why I wanted to bring that up, because I thought Jinder really stuck out this week, especially with all the fucking heat, with him becoming a champion, and hey, let's put him another feud with Randy Orton, so no, that was a nice surprise, especially, with Jinder Mahal starting off Raw. I was like, oh, fuck beans. So yeah, mad props to Mahal for that one.
So then the big main event from Raw, big 10-man tag, the send-off for The Miz, Taraj, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman, Bob Lashley, Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, and Bob Roode, of course.
Bob Roode.
That's another guy on SmackDown that stayed on SmackDown.
Yep.
Rusev. We'll get into SmackDown here, of course.
We'll get there.
But fun main event with the
butt fun.
Hold on, where did he go here? Let's get this guy.
That is so profane.
Taco.
Rude.
But yeah, fun 10-man tag here at the end. Miz's send off, the Miz Taraj abandoning him. We got some fun. We got Bobby Lashley running around in there a bit. But yeah, it was kind of all about the Miz and the Miz Taraj leaving him. And running power slam from Strowman pins the Miz, and that was kind of that. How do you guys feel about Lashley coming back? We kind of talked about it a little bit last week because he made his big comeback, but I'm intrigued by it. I don't know who to feel better about, whether it's McIntyre or Lashley, but those two are two guys that are kind of on the same level. Were here before, went away, did some stuff outside, came back, and I'm really intrigued with what they do with both of those guys.
Yeah, Lashley is definitely one of those guys where it's he's improved over the years, but it's kind of the same. I don't want to have that in my mind, but it's just still at the same time. It's like WWE was like, oh. This is the guys that were starring in Impact during their worst ratings. Let's just scoop them up.
Well, and go ahead, Joe. I know you were.
Well, and what I want to see out of him is again, all I remember from his early WWE days is the fact that he didn't do much mic work. He was just a monster in the ring. Whereas I have seen some of the Impact stuff. He has improved on the mic. The fact that he can use it, he knows how to talk. It's going to take the right feud again, he needs to show us what he can do in the ring and try not to kill somebody like Brock Lesnar with an elbow.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how he does. His stuff so far has looked good in the ring, and seeing what he's been doing. I saw him,
not a lot of goofs.
Saw him on Impact, and he was good on Impact and a good heel promo. So if they can get him in the right role, and again, like you said, the right feud, I think the sky's the limit.
And I'm glad that he was able, or him and WWE were able to. I know they had some issues when he left, so I'm glad they were able to bury that and kind of bring him back. 'Cause, it's nice to see faces come back and add a new spice to the WWE tell. So it's totally fun.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they give him a chance or just kind of use him as a guy based on that backstage heat that he had before. So
I thought it was kind of fun that just on Raw alone we have 2 former UFC stars and 2 Bellator fighters all on Raw.
Who's the other Bellator?
I'm not sure which one, but one of the Authors of Pain was a fighter in Bellator.
I think it's Razor.
Yep, that's right, because Corey brought it up on commentary.
Yeah, I was like, wow, he said Bellator on fucking. I was like, UFC is one thing, but Bellator, wow. So yeah, it was cool. But yeah,
and the other thing Corey said on commentary,
the Bullet Club is for everyone.
He might be getting a demerit for that one, unfortunately. But
well, and I think he tweeted out something.
Yeah, he's like, he's so popular. Quit making so many damn clubs.
Keep on sucking.
All right, let's change it up. Let's move to SmackDown now.
Change the subject. SmackDown Live.
Players, I'm going to make this a tag team match. That's what I thought. Whatevs.
It's still such a new soundbite, and are we gonna have to change it now that Ziggler is over on Monday Night Raw? Is it?
No, I think it should stay. Oh God, fuck, that's hard.
Do I
she said.
Do I change? Okay, hang on now. What are you doing over there?
That is so profane,
Joe,
and rude.
Do I adapt? Do I change the classic Monday Night Raw sounder to add the Ziggler scratch to it?
I think that depends on how much time you really feel like putting into it.
Right, and do I care and all of that? So I'm definitely not taking the Shane in pain off of the end of it because that's too damn good. bring my superstar shakeup list back up here as we go to SmackDown ended up being being the let me hang on here. SmackDown ended up peeing. That's not right.
That is so profane.
Tommy Straker.
But yeah, they ended up winning the superstar shakeup here with the Miz going over, Jeff Hardy, Absolution, Samoa Joe, Big Cass, Asuka, a big name. The Good Brothers, forgot to mention them again. Loaded tag team division.
R-Truth,
Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar,
the immortal R-Truth,
and the Sanity, Eric Young, Wolf, and Killian Dane, and then Andrade Cien Almas, another big name coming up from NXT. So yeah, lots of.
I don't feel like, because the night of Raw, like everybody was posting that like they were taking like half of the SmackDown roster, and then the next night I hear SmackDown win the Superstar Shakeup. It's like. I think it was pretty even. I in my mind, I don't see SmackDown as the winner, Raw as the winner. I think they both won because it starts up so much shit. New stuff, new feuds, new people.
I think that they got bigger names. I think on SmackDown and bigger potential matchups. Whereas, the Raw side with they got the Drew McIntyre and the Bobby Lashley, the returning names. But Bobby Roode's not doing a lot for people on Monday Night Raw, and a lot of the big names stayed in place on Monday Night Raw too. Your Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns,
Ambrose, Rollins,
all of those guys. Yep. So,
Clinton Dix.
Correct. So I feel like you got more name value to SmackDown and again intriguing matchups just with the move of Samoa Joe and even Andrade Cien Almas. I think if they allow those guys, if Daniel Bryan is allowed to do what he wanted to do several years ago before he got injured, before they started the new brand split, his idea was to go to SmackDown basically and be a star. And this was at the time, like I said, before they split the brands again. But he wanted to kind of raise the value of SmackDown by being a more, a wrestling style show, something that would cater to Daniel Bryan's style and that indie style. So it's just a matter of, do they let him and these guys do that stuff on SmackDown and on the SmackDown pay-per-view matches?
Well, just like looking at too, it's just, I'm only, speculating, but I just have this feeling that Triple H is going to get a little bit way more input on a SmackDown show at this point with how it's been going and with the people they got. It's very it seems like NXT on SmackDown, a really good fucking NXT.
I mean, it could, but it hasn't felt like that quite yet.
No, I'm just basing off the fresh names of the list, but no, I feel like both sides won. I feel like everyone was shuffled around to good spots where they're going to be able to fully utilize them, proper. Raw definitely has way more talent on their side because they got 3 fucking hours to play with too. And then you look at SmackDown and someone like Ty Dillinger is going to be able to be utilized in more of these matches and kind of move up the ranks instead of, hey, guess who's on SmackDown in the back room. It's like he's one of those guys that's never stuck out to me, and it's unfortunate because he's talented in the ring, he's good in there. It's just he's never really had time to shine, to me in NXT or now the main roster.
All right, let's talk about Samoa Joe a little bit more here. The move to SmackDown. He had the match with Sin Cara. To me, my feeling when Samoa Joe came out, I felt like he had this look like, fuck SmackDown. Why am I on fucking SmackDown? This is a demotion. This feels like bullshit. And yeah, and I kind of had that feeling myself, but then I calmed down because I'm. Here's the thing. I'm excited. I'm excited for Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns. I'm intrigued by that. I'm really intrigued, even though we've already seen both that and the Brock Lesnar match. I want to see them two one-on-one for that championship again, even though I saw it a year ago. So I calmed my indie-loving brain down, and my internet wrestling fan nerd antenna went down, and I said, okay, let's look at this. We got Samoa Joe coming over. We got AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Andrade Cien Almas. Jeff Hardy just came over.
Nakamura,
of course. So, yeah, we got a lot of fresh stuff. And that's another another name that I expected to possibly move over that didn't was Nakamura. So and another one, Charlotte, who just lost the championship last week. I kind of expected her to move over to Monday Night Raw.
See, I thought Elias would be going to SmackDown.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe a Bayley or Sasha might move, and they didn't. So, but that's okay. I'm not upset with what they did on the Superstar shakeup at all. But it sounds like you guys were more positive right off the bat with Samoa Joe.
Yeah, when that music popped, I was popping for it. I was like, that's awesome. And some of the first thoughts that came across my mind were, was the Roman Reigns match. And I totally want to see that. But this is definitely be a time for Samoa Joe to shine a little bit more on the SmackDown side with the roster that's over there, and he's definitely familiar with some Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, so they got some unique history going on there.
And then what I was gonna say, God damn it, it's gone.
But just over on the Raw side with Samoa Joe, he was gonna be easily buried in the talent that's over there. Whether it's the main title picture or the Intercontinental, he comes in, he kicks ass, but that's all he really does on Raw, and I really think he'll shine more on SmackDown.
Cool.
And also, I will point out, I think it was more the fact that he was facing Sin Cara. That's why he had the fucking bullshit look on his face. He doesn't have. This isn't competition. This was just his warm up.
I don't mind a good squash match, and I saw that coming right away, so I didn't mind that at all. So
plus, it was kind of the week of just get people out there, move them around, show them off to maybe a new audience.
Then I just like that line. This is the land of handouts. It's the land of opportunity. Yeah. This is the land of handouts.
That was good.
And that's done. And he's going to take every opportunity. They're all going to Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
Cruiserweight Championship match, Samoa Joe.
Oh, that's still on Raw, technically.
But it's after SmackDown. It's perfect timing.
What do you guys think about Big Cass making a big comeback here, kind of getting in Daniel Bryan's face? Looking over his head or whatever.
I'm gonna let Taco go first.
I mean, he's coming back as a heel. It's a decent role for him. What do you think?
I'm gonna be positive about it. It's a good spot for him. Being with top tier names like that. I'm hoping this is a Miz angle, and that's his new bodyguard kind of situation.
Well, that's another big matchup with Miz moving over to SmackDown, the Miz Daniel Bryan dream match, that everybody's been clamoring about for years. But okay, so we get Big Cass on SmackDown. What's the who came out on top of this? Quote trade: Big Cass on SmackDown or Baron Corbin on Raw?
Ooh, that's really close. And that's saying something for Baron Corbin because Cass has been on the show for so long.
I was kind of like when Cass was standing tall over Bryan, I was kind of picturing Corbin in my mind and wishing it was him.
I don't mind it. I like Taco said, putting him with a guy like Daniel Bryan for a couple weeks and maybe another experienced wrestler after that. It's going to give him the big match experience he's going to need to become a main event talent. He needs to take on these challenges, and he's going to have to take these losses too. He's going to lose to the little guy. He's got to learn to eat that pride and then move on and find a way to cheat to win.
Hopefully.
What's one of those things I say almost every fucking episode? Feed them to the fire. That's how they're going to fucking learn. Either shine or get the fuck out.
All right, let's talk the celebration leading into the match with Charlotte and Billie Kay.
The Iconics were awesome.
I thought Mella was awesome in this. Fuck everyone.
Mella sucks.
Go. I know you're very positive on the celebration.
I fucking loved her being like, yeah, I beat Charlotte, and laughing at her own shit like her shit don't stink. Like, it was fucking brilliant. Like, perfect heel shit, full of her fucking, cockiness. Like, she did it. She was the only one. And then you have fucking Corey Graves out there like, I saw her walk down the aisle by herself and pin Charlotte by herself. So it's just fucking perfect heel stuff. I mean, we know she doesn't have the best ring work or whatever, but it works for her. She's the moonwalking trash talker. So, yeah, I fucking like that promo. I know a lot of people hated on it, but I was just fucking laughing my ass off with her just fucking hyping up her own shit and laughing at it like, yeah, me
So Charlotte comes out, and then the Iconics come out, and Billie Kay and Charlotte have a match.
They were fucking great too.
Charlotte wins with the figure. I did like, so the Iconics are beating down Charlotte, and then Becky Lynch comes out to even the odds. I like, there was a video that came out on Twitter. I just saw it before the show here. Backstage at unseen footage of backstage at SmackDown, and it's Becky Lynch like eating something out of a bowl, and then she sees the beatdown and says, "Oh shit, I gotta go."
Yeah,
and shows her running down the hallway.
Because the week prior, they're like, "Why don't you come out and save Charlotte?" She's like, "Oh, the quinoa was good," so that's what she was eating this week.
Nice touch. But yeah,
I just gotta bring up the Carmella. We don't have a fucking heel like that. The other one is fucking Alexa Bliss, and I don't know.
I like her a lot better.
Well, the Iconics are going to be
they're
heels
great
like that too.
Just bring down that white makeup a little bit, please.
Well, I know you had some things to say about the Iconics, I think, Joe.
Well, I just the promo is so stupid that it was good for me. Like I don't know what it is about the Australian accent. It's I think they're both Australian, aren't they?
Yes.
It accentuates like all those perfect words that a heel uses against like the faces. I don't know. I just enjoyed them making fun of Charlotte. Like, that's all it was. It was just them elementary school making fun of Charlotte. You know,
totally.
Charlotte
Mean
fucking
Girls.
Flair.
So after the match where Charlotte beat Billie Kay, Carmella attacks Charlotte. Peyton Royce out there takes out Becky Lynch. Asuka comes and evens the odds, and we'll probably get
I'm going to make this a tag team match.
Probably a 6-woman match next week. So let's talk about. So we kind of thought Charlotte might go to Raw, didn't. Asuka came over to SmackDown. Do we feel okay about Charlotte ending the streak and then Carmella beating Charlotte right away after the Iconics beatdown? Of course, I'm kind of okay with the Carmella cash in, but it I don't know.
I fucking love it because, like Charlotte said it best, I know one of the dirtiest player in the game, so I can't be mad at you, but you have something of mine. So like Charlotte played it fucking perfect. Like, I get it, I can't blame you. And then, you know, you cut back to the commentary team, and Todd Phillips is bitching like, you didn't deserve it, you didn't do shit. Then you have Corey Graves.
At
like,
least he's bitching about it.
You know, but you had Corey Graves like, I didn't hear you complain when Miz did it. I didn't hear you complain when Edge did it. You're fucking legends, you know. So it's just like, yeah, man, that's how you start. That's the briefcase. That's part of the game.
And I like the idea too of keeping, because I keep bringing this back around to the Ronda Rousey dream matches or the big matches in the future. So I like that we're keeping Ronda and Charlotte and Asuka separate. You got the Charlotte Asuka thing that you can play out on SmackDown over the next year or so.
You got a series of matches there. And
I don't mind the idea of Asuka continuing being the complete badass with only the one WrestleMania loss to Charlotte.
She's always going to be a badass.
Right, exactly.
We just got that fucking distraction out of the way now.
Right. And they can do the bullshit distraction finishes now with Asuka taking crappy losses, too.
Distractions. Too many distractions.
Skullduggery in play.
In the last 2 weeks, you just had Charlotte look even way more fucking awesome. Asuka didn't lose anything. And then you had Carmella fucking get more credibility with that win. You know,
well, more heat.
More heat. What? Tomatoes, but you know, so she's the champion now. It did not hurt Charlotte whatsoever, and then we had an awesome, powerful, fucking iconic, fucking debut. So it was just like
iconic.
Win for me. So you know, I thought they played this setup really well, and it must have been some good quinoa.
Must have been. We talked about the Good Brothers coming over to SmackDown, the Bar coming over to SmackDown, R-Truth and Ty Dillinger having a moment in the back, which was actually that was the coolest thing Ty Dillinger's done in a long time.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's make them guys a tag team.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
Somebody's got to be the shitty tag team on this brand. All the other ones are great.
2 times 10?
There you go. Sanity getting thrown in out of nowhere. It was just kind of a, hey, Sanity's coming to SmackDown. Not really much.
Apparently they were in Japan at the time.
Okay.
I just saw a post from Eric Young. He posted because of the Sanity thing popping up. He's like, yeah, we were in Japan.
My big question is, where is Nikki Cross in this? Because to me, she's really the star of Sanity, in my opinion. So is she staying at NXT? Are they making her appearance with Sanity a surprise at some point in the future?
That's what I'm hoping.
I'm hoping that's the case because, we'll get into NXT a little bit, but, there's a lot of good ladies in the NXT roster right now, but the only one that's really going to stick out to me, really being crazy enough to want to go at Shayna Baszler is Nikki Cross. So you can, that's a good little feud right there. Matchup, and then, when Sanity does need to bring her in, add her to the mix, that option's still there. But, I'm fucking disappointed, man. I want to see her moved up to the main roster and kind of tear it up on SmackDown.
All right, that's going to pretty much do it for the SmackDown stuff. The big main event tag match or whatever, Nakamura getting another low blow on Daniel Bryan or on AJ Styles. You got Big Cass getting some heat with Daniel Bryan, so we got a match coming up pretty quick between those two.
Just match with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, it feels good.
It's awesome.
It really feels good, yeah.
It does sound like I did a quick search here, but that they are trying to set something up with Nikki Cross and Shayna Baszler because, again, besides Kairi Sane, there's not a whole lot of experienced competition to go at Shayna.
All right, well, since you were busy looking stuff up, why don't you look up that Impact card before we talk 205 Live and NXT this week?
Look at that.
I do want to talk. Do I still have Impact music on here?
Oh God, I hope so.
Do I have? I think I took it off.
Impact.
Do you know what I have on here? Remember when we did TNA trivia?
Oh my God.
I have that on here for some reason.
TNA trivia.
Close enough.
So for some reason,
one of your starter be like, "You're a fucking dummy." Yeah.
So what is the card for Impact Redemption? Again, I haven't. Did you watch any Impact this last couple of weeks?
I watched it. A week, 2 weeks ago, maybe. I fucking remember. Much shit happens last 2 weeks.
I've been in and out. I enjoyed the Impact versus Lucha thing from WrestleMania weekend, and
it's hard because it's kind of I don't have access to Pop, and they don't really have you get 2-3 week delay on the GWN network thing they got, but yeah, they've been doing good.
Right on. Well, I mean, they've definitely got some positive momentum. They're bringing in Lucha Underground guys.
They just re-signed their UK TV deal to a bigger numbers too, I believe. And I thought it was funny. I can't think of his Impact name, but Brodus Clay just left Impact stating, I can't be on this sinking ship anymore. There's nothing creative here anymore. It's like,
Brodus Clay.
Dude, there's been more eyes on this product in the last 6 months than the last, 3 years.
That's funny. But yeah, I'm intrigued by the main event: Austin Aries versus Pentagon
versus
Phoenix. But what's on that undercard there?
Well, starting from the bottom, we got Aerostar versus Drago. I'm guessing the opening match.
It'll be a fun one.
You got the Knockouts match, which is Ali versus Su Yung.
Cool.
A House of Hardcore match.
Go back to that for a second. Su Yung is Rich Swann's wife, newly signed to Impact, and Ali, the new Impact Women's Champion.
He showed up somewhere over the weekend, didn't he?
CZW was one of those surprise appearances, and he did not get a good reaction.
Oh, he had a surprise appearance.
It was one of those, and then I guess he
wasn't there one promotion in the UK or something? Or?
Oh, it might. No, yeah, you're right. I know he fucking ended the match booting a woman in the face. So it's like, dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I shouldn't laugh, but Jesus Christ, that's a bad decision.
That's a hashtag too soon kind of gimmick there.
Bad decision.
But they've told a good story over the past couple of years with that the Ali, the new champion or whatever. So that should be a good matchup. One that's interesting. What else we got, Joe?
You got the House of Hardcore match, OVE versus Tommy Dreamer, Moose, and Eddie Edwards.
Okay.
So that should be with Eddie Edwards in there and Sami Callihan in OVE. Yeah, you've got a lot right there.
Mm-hmm.
We got tag team championship match, LAX versus Eli Drake and Scott Steiner.
Didn't make that up.
I didn't read the card, and I got halfway through.
Scott Steiner
he was
and Eli Drake. Dummy, yeah.
Watch the episode before that one.
Oh, man. X Division Championship, Matt Sydal versus Petey Williams. That should be pretty
A straight-up one-on-one. I like that.
And then the main event, Austin Aries, Pentagon Jr., and Phoenix.
Wasn't there like a 6-way X division match or something like that? Or maybe I'm
Sometimes
you're
like those
crazy.
announced last-minute shit.
Yeah.
It's a good card, but $40, man. Was it 30, 40?
I was just looking on my Fight TV app, and it's $40.
God, they might have got me for 15, but
I maybe 20, 25.
I was gonna say 20's pushing it.
But I'm not doing 40. No,
God, no.
I'll tell you what, though. I'll listen to other people talk about it and decide if I'm interested in the next one. But
can I subscribe to your network for a month and get it on there?
yeah, what is their? Do you know what?
Looking at that.
I don't know how much their network is.
I think it's like $10.
Tremendous analysis.
That is tremendous.
I would imagine it'd be $9.99, maybe
But do you
14,
get,
15 tops.
But I don't think you get the pay-per-views with that, do you?
Don't know. Maybe tweet about it later if I'm not too stoned. So.
Anyway, people don't come to us for impact analysis. I don't think. Anyway, so unfortunately, all right. Let's move on. Let's get into.
Let's move on.
I don't know what else to tell you. It's impact. Here's the thing is, there's a little bit of buzz around it. I'm kind of interested, but I'm not $40 interested.
No.
So I think if it was cheaper, you might get a few more people buying the thing. But then who knows? And that's kind of been a theme with Impact pay-per-views. It's like, really, you're going to charge that much for this show?
Hey, give it 6 months. If they're still on this trend. I mean, Christ, we're fucking talking about it, and we're even talking about renting or ordering a pay-per-view of Impact. So just the thought of it being there, it's like, keep up this momentum, y'all. Shit,
pretty surprising.
All right, let's briefly talk a little 205 Live.
Change the subject.
205 Live.
Weird question.
Are you a cruiserweight? I went in pretty open-minded to this week's 205 Live, and I just couldn't get into it this week. I don't know. How did you guys? Did you guys both check it out?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was a good. Nothing super special, but I thought it was a pretty decent match between Daivari and
Mustafa Ali and Daivari
Mustafa
was a good
Ali.
opening.
Yeah, I thought that was just okay. And Mustafa Ali getting the win there felt appropriate. He needed
points
to get a win there.
I really enjoyed Gulak again with his promo. Just done with the PowerPoint. Obviously, he's going. He's able to kind of transition between like the political promo guy and then I'm the best submission specialist in the WWE. I'm going to fuck you up, basically. So it's like I love to see this switch like that.
I do like what they're doing with Drew Gulak there, but the Buddy Murphy thing is a little. That's
where I wanted to talk about.
I like that he missed weight or whatever, but the story going into it was really weird because what they've been doing with Drake Maverick largely kind of makes sense. But he was gonna reward basically Buddy Murphy with a match versus Cedric Alexander for attacking him the week before. So you're gonna reward a guy for skullduggery the week before, but then he doesn't make weight, so he's got to try to make weight for next week.
Ooh, breaking news. Sammy Callahan just fucked up Kevin Sullivan.
Jesus, is that real?
Tonight. Yeah, we'll look up Sammy Callahan's Wednesday night was the fucking 18th. Yeah, he fucked up Kevin Sullivan tonight. As of 42 minutes ago at 10:30 p.m., Kevin Sullivan wanted to run his mouth tonight at Rockstar Pro Wrestling, so he got his old ass beat. I don't care who you are or what you've done. Just add his name to my list of victims.
Jesus. It's a brutal picture, too.
Might give a fuck is broken. It's just a big old fucking softball bloody on his head.
Jesus
and Sullivan's there selling it, though.
Wow.
I don't know the story behind it or anything, but...
All I know is I hope they're not doing baseball bat shots to the head on purpose, because that's not a smart thing to do. But yeah.
Wow.
Ugly stuff there. So anyway.
Anyway.
Buddy Murphy. What were you going to say about Ataka?
Oh, I didn't like it. We knew this angle was going to come up eventually. I think it's too soon to do like the whole missed weight angle. I would almost, Especially since, watching boxing and MMA, when someone misses weight, they still have another fucking, I think, hour or 2 hours to make weight. So, it's like WWE, let alone 205, you're telling me you're stricter than the weigh-ins for an MMA fight?
Well, I think they said they're going to give him a chance to make it by next week or something.
Next week. So. That's, when he was like, give me an hour, I'll make weight. It's like, yeah, give him an hour. He could fucking make weight easily. But I would have, just me personally, I would have liked to see it kind of, save that, in your back pocket. And, when he's fucking developing there and, he's going to be put in that number one contender spot. Boom, he fucks up and he doesn't make weight. They add some drama that way. He's fucking up his own title opportunity. So, just kind of a nonchalant, oh, you didn't make weight, give me an hour, do it next week. With no punishment. You see like a UFC fighter and it's like, okay, well, fucking half of your purse is going to be
I thought
docked.
He should have been punished for the skullduggery last week, for beating up the champion instead of being rewarded with a championship match. He should have been punished. He should have been suspended for a week.
Well, that's the thing. You got that.
Here's what would have been a better story. Let's do a little fantasy booking here.
Fantasy booking.
Well, whipping them all out.
So we got the skullduggery last week where he beats up the champion. Drake Maverick should have suspended him for a week for the skullduggery last week. Then next week he shows up fat because he's been off for a week, so he doesn't make weight. That's why what should have been what the story was. Not this this contrived shit of, well, you get a match because you attacked the champion. Oh, but now you can't make weight, so we'll put you in a gauntlet match next week, motherfucker. So yeah,
which I'm excited for.
Who's in that gauntlet match? I didn't make. Maybe they didn't.
I don't think they told us.
Yeah,
because they kept trying to get even anything out of him, and I love that Drake man was just like, no, I'll tell you next week.
Yeah, there you go. Jack Gallagher and Brian Kendrick versus two short bearded dudes. Brian Kendrick wins with the captain's hook. He's back from the orbital injury from the go to sleep from Hideo Itami back in December.
I like that they brought that up and that supposedly, like, it was a respect thing and that they're over it, but, like, that's going to come back.
And then the main event, Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado versus Hideo Itami and Akira
I had
Tozawa.
so much fun with this
right?
match. I was like, just them popping up like fucking tornado tag match and... I felt like a good fucking tornado tag match. There's no, like, fucking chairs or tables and bullshit involved. It was just chaotic fucking tornado wrestling everywhere. I loved it.
Yeah, I was a little down on the early parts of the match, but yeah, they brought it late, and it got pretty good there by the end of it. So maybe I was just the only one that is just, for some reason, maybe it was my mood. I don't know. I was a little bit down on this episode of 205.
Were you feeling sluggish?
I might have been my liver. I don't know. So
and I completely understand that.
I did get power bombed into some stuff the other day.
My liver.
Anyway.
Well, and to just say for this feud, I've actually just enjoyed this feud and the fact that we're obviously building toward tag titles for the cruiserweights, right? I mean, you're putting Jack Gallagher back with Brian Kendrick. You've got Tozawa, and then you've already got like 3 solid tag teams right there. And then I like the fact of, like Taco said, you get so into a feud, so angry at each other that they're like, you know what, fucking everybody in the ring, just go at it and get it the fuck out of your system. And that's what I felt like we got that night. It's like we might not have seen the end of it, but like this is going to slow down for a little while and let's build some other tag teams now.
And I'm just, like I said, just them hyping up the fact that it was a tornado tag match, not like a anything goes match, and just fucking sheer chaos.
Either of you guys watch the Lucha Party News?
I have not seen the Lucha Party News.
Lince Dorado can speak really good English.
Fantastic.
I love it. Someone tried to bring down the Lucha Party, but they're not going to let that happen.
No, you can't bring down the Lucha Party.
I like that they're coming out with noisemakers now, too.
Yeah. We should get some of those to the podcast.
I wasn't sure how I felt about the noisemakers.
You should feel good about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Muy bueno.
Racist.
All right, let's change it up one more time and talk NXT.
Change the subject.
Oh, shit.
TNH.
No!
My bad. That wasn't in fact.
Oh, that was terrifying.
You could have just gone into TNA again, fuck with everyone.
It's just scary hearing those letters.
So yeah, loaded episode of NXT this week. Johnny Gargano, his big triumphant return speech, the victory over Tommaso Ciampa, and thanking the fans, thanking his wife, challenging Aleister Black, doing the same thing at the end of the show. And then Aleister coming out and saying, yeah, we're going to do this. If you want to do this, let's do it next week. So
who the fuck do you think he is? He didn't even have a job a week ago.
But he won his big match. And he's been very competitive against the last champion, even though he lost to them. But there was the skullduggery with Zelina
he's
Vega.
competitive, but how many wins did he have, Tommy?
Yeah. And look, Candice LeRae defeated Zelina Vega in the main event of SmackDown this week.
Yeah, it totally redeems him.
No, but that's a thing. That's a thing because it was Zelina that was causing the skullduggery in the matches. So it all makes sense. It all makes sense somehow. But yeah,
it was fun.
So avoid your NXT spoilers, everybody, because I'm sure that's out there. Should be a fun match next week.
Yeah.
We had Ricochet with his a Full Sail debut for NXT versus Fabian Eichner. Of course, Ricochet wins with all of his awesome moves and the 450 senton. I do like he hits the 619, and God bless Mauro Ranallo. I had no idea that it was also called a tiger fin kick. So
I feel like he just made that up on the spot.
Hey, if he did, that's fine. I'm going with it.
Giraffe tail whip.
Eichner works the abdominal section, the very phenomenal abdominal section of Ricochet, by the way.
Yeah, that middle area.
And a nice little promo from Ricochet after the match, talking about how he's going to take it to the next level and, get over on the NXT brand like so many people from the past, like Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and whoever else he mentioned there.
Yeah. Bailey,
yes, of course. And he didn't mention Kevin. It was Sami Zayn, not Kevin Owens. But good stuff from Ricochet. Had the EC3 video package. Taco, I know you're a huge fan of the EC3 music, and Joe,
top 1%.
Yeah.
It's the stupidest fucking song.
I don't mind it because it's like,
just because you're bottom 99% doesn't mean you have to be jealous.
I don't mind it. It fits the character. I miss trouble. That was too good. That was perfect for him. But I don't mind that. I think it fits the character for EC3. Is it good? No.
Oh God, no. I'm not saying it's good. I just enjoy it.
Then we had the debut of the War Raiders. They took on the Fonzie Fighters.
Nice.
This was great.
Deuce and Domino's cousins.
This was so perfect. It was War Machine, the War Raiders, playing all the greatest hits. The Fallout for the win. The Ace 10 Mao. Hansen did his cartwheel. All the stuff. They're murdering these two. and this guy from the audience quotes JR at the most perfect moment in the match. Somebody stop the damn match for the whole world to hear. It was so perfect. They did it right before they go into the finisher, too. It was just beating the snot out of these two guys in white T-shirts and black jeans. It was perfect.
How you guys feeling about the name? Has it grown on you yet?
It's still not grown on me. I'm glad.
I'll get used to it.
I'm glad that Full Sail wasn't doing the full-on War Machine chant, just totally ignoring the name. But I feel like everybody's coming.
I'm embracing it.
It's the reality of the situation.
Yep.
You've already got a heavy machinery. You've got the controversial War Machine name from the MMA world or whatever.
I think it's more due to Marvel and Disney.
Oh, well, there's that too.
That guy, he's... If you know about him, you're fucked up.
All right, then. And then we had Shayna Baszler kind of putting the locker room on notice, taking Ember Moon's tag down from her old locker or whatever. It was fine. It was what it was. We had Kona Reeves with a quick little video package. He's going to be coming back as the Finest. So there was that.
Lovely hair.
Pete Dunne says he's going to rip Roderick Strong's head off when he comes back and faces him in a couple of weeks.
I believe him.
That was perfect. Just a great. The interviewer catches him on his way out of the building and asks him about the Roderick Strong thing. I just enjoyed that. I didn't so much enjoy, like, the Shayna Baszler thing kind of was what it was, but it was Again, why is a camera following her into the ladies' locker? Well, I guess she was.
Well, she said there was a meeting and she's late for it, and she's going to do it her way from now on. Slapping that championship.
She was kind of doing was she doing like a selfie video kind of thing, or something like that?
Somebody was that, or it was somebody following her with their own phone.
Which is, going back a couple weeks ago when she was first kind of, running around at NXT, she was doing those I almost said camera backrooms things with someone following her around. So
taco.
So yeah, no, I liked it. It was just that Dakota Kai spot, her walking out just kind of awkwardly. It was like, okay,
but they have their past or whatever too.
They do.
And that's kind of some other news. Dakota Kai's former tag team partner or something is coming to NXT or just got signed. I don't have it in front of me here, but there was. I
did see a few of the posts
that was out there. So, and she's one that I for some reason I'm really intrigued by Dakota Kai, this team kick thing, and I really need to see. I want to see the Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler match. We still haven't had kind of that rematch ever since the injury angle that they did with Dakota Kai and Shayna Baszler. So I would like to see that. Big highlight from NXT this week, the no disqualification Lars Sullivan versus Killian Dane.
This matchup is now anything goes.
We make fun of, we use that soundbite because it's not a rare thing to get a no disqualification anything goes match in pro wrestling. However, it is kind of rare to get one in NXT. So it's a sarcastic soundbite when we play it, but it has indeed been a rarity in NXT. Yeah, these two hosses just murdered each other. Fucking Lars Sullivan using his gravity offense, coming off the top, but not soaring in the air, just falling using gravity several times to the floor.
To the floor was the roughest.
two diving headbutts. One of them busts open Killian Dane's face. The other one he goes and he ends up hitting a chair. I just love fucking that Lars Sullivan uses gravity attacks. That's so funny. He gets the big win with the freak accident on top of some chairs. Killian Dane on his way
out. How it was conceived.
On his way up to SmackDown Live 3 times today.
That is so profane.
Taco.
And rude.
So, with Killian Dane on the way out, Lars Sullivan getting the big win. We had a nice little backstage, I won't call it promo, but the Undisputed Era, we're having a nice little NWO style chat backstage.
I'm loving them.
Getting ready for a photo shoot. Kyle O'Reilly doing his goddamn thing, working that camera, loving it up.
Ready for our close-up.
Good stuff there. And we are going to get Adam Cole defending his North American title next week versus the one and only Oney Lorcan. Ooh. That should be really good. Also, we are going to get the aforementioned Gargano and Aleister Black next week.
Same week?
Yeah. Ooh. So there was that, and then we talked about Candice LeRae beating Zelina Vega in the main event here. I love how...
I didn't expect much out of this. I mean, I'm not saying it was the most amazing thing in the world, but I really expected nothing from this match, even though I know Candice LeRae has experience. I've seen a little bit of Zelina Vega as well. It still impressed just a little bit that they did. I mean, botched the ending a little bit, but come on, again, nitpicky in that sense because I like the story, what's going on here.
Yeah.
Andrade distracting for Zelina, even better, continuing that bullshit.
Right. Well, and I love the spot where he does the distraction. Here comes Johnny out to save the day, but then Zelina throws Candice out of the ring in between the two, so he can't get out there and get in Andrade's face, and so then Zelina comes out, throws Candice back in, but it keeps those two separated for the most part, and then the double submission at the end with the double Gargano escape I thought was a nice touch at the end there. But yeah, both of them are longtime veterans. Certainly Candice LeRae is more so, but it was cool, and I just like that it wraps up the story with her moving up to the main roster, Zelina that is, with Andrade Cien. We had the wonderful wrap up of the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano story, so all of these loose ends hands are tied up. We're going to get the one-on-one match between two of the big babyface acts in NXT next week. So it'll be really interesting to see what the angle is there, what heel inserts himself into this. Does Lars? Lars Sullivan got the big win this week. People are going to be talking about him. And EC3 is out there, of course, as well. So it'll be fun. So that's it, man.
Is that it?
That's it.
Wait, can we talk about Impact?
Yeah, we can. Let me fire it up here.
TNA Trivia.
Dummy. Yeah.
No, we're going to get the fuck out of here. I think it's going to change the subject to the end of the show. So make sure you check out Strong Honor this week. Not a big newsworthy week, but a lot of fun stuff, some developing things, getting into some bigger matches coming up for New Japan. Really good Jay Lethal and Jonathan Gresham match from Masters of the Craft. So we talked about all of that over on Strong Honor. So bestprowrestlingpodcast.com will get you to that show as well as stronghonor.com. Well, follow this show on Twitter at BPW Podcast, Facebook.com/Best Pro Wrestling Podcast, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com to email the show. Follow me at Tommy Stryker, spell Stryker with a Y, and check out SLTDWrestling.com. That's single leg takedown wrestling.com. SLTD.com. Sorry, I fucked it up. SLTDWrestling.com. A fantasy league, a predictions league, tons of fan articles, as well as links to this podcast. So you can listen to this podcast as you're checking out those fan articles and those fantasy leagues. Taco, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter at HGREV Taco.
And you can follow me, Joe, at Joe BPWB. That's at Joe, Best Pro Wrestling Podcast.
That's going to do it. Thanks for checking out the show. Bye.
Peace.
I hear that TNA is hiring.
Titles. Worldwide? What does that mean? My botch? I don't get it. Guys. Braun Strowman is coming. Braun Strowman is coming. He's headed this way.
Hey, Dave. Joe is here.